As you know, the Smart Wood Shop took me a long time to put together and perfect, and I'm going to continue working on and perfecting it forever. One of the driving design features, ideas that I came up with a long time ago is that my tools and materials need to be readily accessible. They need to be passively restrained. I don't want to lock down, tie down, bungee down, zip tie down, anything except what I absolutely have to, which is very, very little. So you know that I've got this 3/4 strip that keeps the tools from falling out when I'm going down the road. And I have the lift up detail, no hardware. This is just something I make in the shop that keeps the drawers from coming out unless I lift on them. So I always look for opportunities to do things like that. And one of them that I came up with when I was putting this together and putting things in place, so after the trailer was done and I was loading it, this ladder, which I use a lot, it's a red top. It's the lightest ladder on the market, lighter than anything, even though it's wood. So this one's quite old. I don't know if they're available anymore. I'd like to get another one. But it's a little tall for me to fit in back where I put my 4-foot red tops. I got 2 of those around the corner, but trying to get it in and under the lights and stuff. So I decided I needed to keep it out here. So again, it's readily accessible. So I just kind of leaned against the wall, and I was thinking of maybe a hook or a twist or something that would keep it here when I'm going down the road. And then I got to looking at it and rethinking it, and I came up with a piece of scrap 3/4 inch plywood, which I screwed to one of the rafters up here. And all I do is wedge it. So the ladder, I just pull the bottom out, and then I can tip it out, and on the job it goes. And then after I have everything loaded, I've got my sawhorses in here, and again, it helps hold the sawhorses in place. So I got 4 sawhorses, and I just lean them against the wall, bring the ladder in, tip it in up against that piece of 3/4, and pull it back, and that's it. So this ladder won't go anywhere, and it keeps my sawhorses in place. And so that's the kind of passive restraint ideas that that I'm working on, and I'm sure there's a million more that can be figured out and that you guys can figure out. But to try to think of ways to keep your tools readily accessible to increase your workflow, and also that you're not having to hassle every time you want to get something in or out. And the way I came up with this is it was almost tall enough, and it was kind of touching the rafter, and I could sort of wedge it in, but it wasn't quite enough. And I thought, boy, if the ladder were only a little taller, or if the ceiling were a little lower. And so just bringing that rafter down just with one piece of 3/4, and if it would have been a little tall, I could have used a 2x, I could have stacked them. If it were less, I could have used 1/2 inch, but just basically so I get the right amount of wedging it or friction in there, and it stays in place. Well, I hope you enjoy these tips and techniques, and I hope it makes your workflow go better. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Have a great day.